UFC 330 is this weekend, and I can't remember the last time where there was a title contender that was this polarizing. Ian Garry has been getting hate since he got started in the UFC, really. After his speech at MSG, people really started to dislike him. But hearing the crowd yesterday at the press conference really showed how disliked Ian really is. I didn't bother making a prediction video because I do have Islam winning, and saying I have the heavy favorite on a 16 win streak winning isn't really adding anything to the conversation. But I do think that Garry is his biggest threat and believe that Garry has a chance to beat him. Now, it's a very slim chance, but he does have a chance. So what if he does? What if Garry beats Islam? What would happen to the way that the UFC fans perceive Ian Garry? What would happen to the welterweight division? And what would happen to Islam's legacy? To start off, here's how I think Ian could win. Number one is puncher's chance, because everyone has it. Even though Ian is a phenomenal striker, I believe Islam is a very smart fighter and won't set himself up in situations where Ian could have success on the feet. So if Ian were to knock Islam out, I don't think it will come from a traditional exchange. It will probably take something unexpected to catch Islam off guard and put him away. Me saying this is not dismissing Ian's skill. Rather, I value Islam's defensive striking very high. Number two is a boring decision win. Ian Garry has no issue being a boring fighter. He would have no problem circling the cage and picking at Islam for 25 minutes and winning by points. We have seen him stick to the outside and do this before. So those are the realistic avenues I see Garry winning. Like, I don't see, for example, Garry out wrestling Islam. I don't see him dominating the whole fight. I think these are very narrow avenues, and I think Garry is in for the hardest fight of his life. But what if he gets it done? So what if he knocks him out? If he were to do it quickly even, say Ian Garry knocks Islam out in the first 90 seconds, it would be called a fluke. Ian would not get the same grace or benefit of the doubt that Conor, Alex Pereira, Amanda Nunes got in their title wins, not just because Islam is way more talented than Aldo, Ankalaev, and Cyborg, but solely because of how disliked Ian is. Ian could get the quickest knockout in UFC title history, and I think Islam still gets the rematch because of the politics around it. I'm not going to talk about this scenario too much because I really don't think this is likely. Rather, the second avenue, Ian winning by points, a boring decision, is more likely. Constantly moving, picking at Islam, and getting one of the most boring wins in UFC title history. With this outcome, I don't think the perception of how good Ian is would go up or down. I think it would stay around the same. Islam's, however, would take a hit. Main reason being he was a lightweight who was known to be a size bully, and the first fighter he faces who is considerably larger than him, he loses to. No matter how boring the fight was, the notion would be that Islam couldn't execute his game plan because Garry didn't allow it. I also think losing to Garry would hurt Islam's welterweight ambitions because I think the contenders he has in front of him, not including Garry, are going to be his hardest fights. I don't think if he loses, he would just go back to lightweight, but the vision he has of staying in welterweight and racking up wins and title defenses might not happen. He is 34, and this kind of loss to Garry could shorten Islam's career to a rematch with Garry and then retirement. Now, what do I think happens to the welterweight division? Islam, if he gets knocked out, he will have to wait for 6 months, and I think we will see Protez versus Garry too. We will see a more confident Garry, and Garry will probably get it done again. Protez is one of my favorite fighters, but he got outclassed for all but the last minute of their first fight. If Islam loses to decision, I also think Protez will be next because of the gaps Islam takes between fights. So then this creates a scenario where Protez could be the champ and Islam will rematch Garry for no belt. And I think if Islam were to beat Garry to avenge his loss, he would probably retire. And the reason I believe this is because the Khabib camp makes it no secret that they care a lot about legacy. I don't think they will want to risk Islam losing again to, say, a dangerous Prates or Morales. I'm not saying Prates could beat him or Morales could beat him, but right now Islam is like the boogeyman, and if Ian Garry beats him, no matter how he beats him, that perception goes away and contenders will get more confident. So what happens to Islam's legacy? Right now he's in the GOAT discussion, but I think if he were to lose, he would still be ranked high in both lightweight history and overall UFC history, but he would probably be behind Khabib just because of the loss. I do think Islam is a better fighter than Khabib and took way more risks than Khabib ever did, but the story about MMA is that if you don't retire on top, your legacy will take a hit. I've seen this over and over again. Like, what if Usman retired before Edwards? Or what if Aldo retired before Conor? Their legacy completely evaporated or took a huge hit because of those losses. Because the legacy is not about who actually is the best fighter. It's whoever is the easiest to argue is the best fighter. So to end the video, if Islam wins, and I think he will, I think he'll be top 2 of all time. The 17 win streak puts him there for sure. He said he wants to go for 20. If he goes for 20, he will have 8 title defenses, 4 in lightweight, 4 in welterweight. And this would make him the GOAT, in my opinion. He would be behind Jones, DJ, Silva, and GSP in the number of total title defenses. But him doing this across 2 divisions will put them over them, in my opinion. But that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, peace.